Hello, everybody. We're live. How is everyone doing today? We are going to talk about. Come on, kitty, stop it. What are they? Hey, you can get down if you're going to do that. Stop. They're getting restless. You know how you get stuck in the house all winter, then you start to get, I don't know what it's called, but definitely restless. Okay. I think I might need to turn that other light on. Excuse me. So, we are live. We don't have anybody here yet. So, what I need to do is I need to find my stuff. I'm so sorry. I'm not prepared. But since no one's here, I'm sorry for anybody who's rewatching. You can fast forward always. And also, I recommend watching in at least 1.25, maybe 1.5, because I have a tendency to get brain fog and kind of go, that kind of stuff. So today we're going to be talking about our inner child. And what I would like to do is, there we go. I would like to open some. Let's see. So where are you at? Negative inner child. There we go. Let's see. Where are all the what I'm looking for is what can I do to help with my depression? I don't understand why I don't see my. Did I delete it? I don't think so. Let me see what's going on. So last time, which was 2 weeks ago, we were discussing all notes. Here it is, I think. How to heal your inner child. So I hate it when they do like updates on these. Healing your inner child. Reconnecting. There's the Cleveland Clinic. Okay. So lesson 37, healing. Let's look for here. So we talked about our inner child. So what had happened was, and then last week I got sick. It's Michigan weather. It's yeah, it's Michigan weather. It's that Cleveland Clinic. How to heal your inner child. Oh goodness. This is so irritating to me. Am I on a different Safari? Did I hope I didn't shut you guys down. There we are. Okay. So last week we talked about getting to know what an inner child was. I do remember that. Then we had healing your inner child. And so today, these are all healing inner child. There. What I need to do is go here and open this and hit. I think I got to go that way. How to heal your inner child. It keeps opening them on the same tab. All right. Nope. Okay. All right, this is Cleveland Clinic. And then there's a worksheet I want to go over. That might even take us into next week as well. So, what can I do to help with my... No. Inner child, how to heal your inner child healing. Okay. So, we were introduced to our inner child last week. Where am I at? Where's StreamYard at? Hello. Uh-oh. Did I shut it down? Are you guys still here? Why am I not on StreamYard? Uh-oh. Enter studio. Uh-oh. I oh, I was on there. Okay. So let's edit. Uh, no, that's not. Okay, so I got to remove one. Okay, hello. Does anybody? No. Okay. So, oh, I see it. There it is right there. Okay. Cancel. I don't want to leave. Oh. I am so sorry. We are still live and I am having some technical difficulties. So my new computer is a little confusing to me. So when I went to my notes, and this is expand this. I am on Chrome. Okay. So I am on Chrome. And then if I want to add something to Chrome, I'm trying to go to notes. And notes is opening it in not Chrome, it's opening it in Safari. So it's on Safari, and that is not helping me at all. This is Google. Okay. All right. Split view makes it easier to multitask. Remind me later. Okay. So, anyways, we're talking about our inner child today, and I will have to do it on my phone. And we'll just be listening to you. Okay. So I see nobody's here yet. Oh, hi Michelle. Hi Michelle. How you doing today? We're gonna continue the inner child conversation. Because we talked the 2 weeks ago about what an inner child actually was, or at least what mine is to me. And so this week we're going to cover, and I can't do it. I can't do the split screen. I'm having trouble with my computer. It's new, so I just don't know what's going on, basically. So, yeah, so I have the article on my phone, and I'll just read it when we get to it. So, how are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. And I'm not sure where you live. I heard about that big storm in New York, but I don't remember where you live. Michelle, let me know where you're at. So hopefully that didn't affect you at all. Hopefully. Um, I have a little snack here with my coffee. My sister bought them probably after Valentine's Day, and she gave me one. And I didn't think I'd like them, strawberry and cream. I love these things. Like way too much. Got my coffee. I did take my sinus pill, but I forgot to use my nose spray, so hopefully we'll be good. That's why I didn't come on last week, is because I was having a lot of chest congestion and coughing and stuff. So in Michigan, it goes from like 50 to 30 to 50 to 30, sometimes 40 in the middle there. And so I wasn't wearing my hat or my mask all week, and I got stuffy and congested. And I had the sinus drainage, the nausea. And so I started taking my medicine. I'm feeling better, but I still have a little bit of congestion here. And so that is what was going on last week. So, and when spring comes, that's what it is in Michigan. One day you've got your coat off. You think, well, maybe I don't need a lot of stuff. So you put a jacket on instead of your coat, and then you end up getting, the sinus issue. So, all right, let's start on the article. These are so good. If you guys see these next year, I don't like white chocolate. I do not like white chocolate. That's why I didn't think I'd like them. But the middle, oh my gosh. Party going on in the mouth. I should have waited on that, huh? Okay. We'll start the article as soon as I get done with this. Okie dokie. Oh, so what we're talking about today is how to heal your inner child. Let me do something real quick. Heal your inner child. I can, instead of just transferring it, I can do this as well. I'm looking for Cleveland Clinic, Melbourne Psychology. Audible. I guess I'm going to have to put Cleveland Clinic in there. Heal your inner child. Cleveland. That's one of the websites for mental health that I turn to a lot because I feel like the information is very it's up to date, and I'm usually in agreement with it, Okay, now let's share that screen. All righty. Image file, share screen. Google Chrome would like to record this computer screen and audio. No, we don't need to do that. And share. All right, let's see. Oh, there we go. I'm going to tie-dye a shirt in Aruba. Oh, Joe, that's so fun. Oh, I hope it's nice and warm for you there. I'm in Northwest Tennessee. Oh, okay. Did you guys get any of that snow? I know Joe is in Tennessee too. But I know that New York got that. Oh, okay, Michelle, no worries. New York got that like 19 inches of snow. And so I think we have some people that pop in that are from that area. Not New York City, I don't think, but from around that area. So hopefully, hopefully you guys didn't get any of that. I was amazed that it passed us by in Michigan because, New York is just. So it came from the north and it went over there. We didn't get any of it. Snowed in 3 weeks, 6 and 4 was ice. Oh my gosh. That I remember that big snowstorm that was down there. I think we got a little bit of that, but not much. Joe, I was showing everybody these. Let me do the one person here. Have you guys tried these? And they come out at Valentine's Day. I don't like white chocolate. You see it's got a white chocolate shell. But that cream in the middle, ladies and gents, that cream in the middle is so yummy. And so it's just a white chocolate shell. So I am loving it. A little too much, I was saying earlier. They're very delicioso. How are you today, Joe? I mean, that sounds so cool. When do you guys leave for Aruba? Mm, 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 mm. It's a little tart, strawberry cream. Mm, mm. Oh, I hope it's so nice and warm for you there, and it helps with your pain, and that you have a great time. That sounds amazing. Mm, I want to see. My phone's about to die. That's why I had to do that. Put it up here. What was I? Oh, I was gonna see if our friend Michelle Marco Polo'd me back yet. No. Okay. Um, she sent me a really sweet, funny message, and I just got it today. I just messaged her back. Can you guys see me talking in chat? Just right now, I can. Were you talking earlier, Jen? Because I didn't see you earlier. We can see you now. So you've probably been here a while and I couldn't see your messages. I wonder why. I can see you now, Jen. I can see you now. I was having trouble I was having some technical difficulties earlier where I didn't know what I was doing, to be honest with you, but um the new computer has a lot of different stuff on it. Joe is already in Aruba. Oh, she's already in Aruba. How is it there then? Is it nice and warm? How you feeling? Uh, you are stuttery. Okay. Could it be my Wi-Fi maybe? There's my Wi-Fi. Let me check it. Oh, it's on the 5G. Excuse me. I really need to get on Marco Polo more often, but I have been feeling crappy. I like I said, I was going outside without my coat on, and I didn't catch a cold from anybody. It's sinuses. When I do that, my sinuses, it affects my sinuses. So, um, let me know if it's getting worse or better. To me, if anybody else sees that I'm stuttery too, yeah, let me know, and I'll exit and come back. Um, so I did get up at a decent hour today, so I haven't been feeling as depressed as lately, as I was in January. So I'm able to one of my meds I increase when I can't sleep, and then I can decrease it now. Yeah, I have been sick for a few days now. Yeah. Yeah, it's this time of year in Michigan. It's like one day it's 50, I think, and it's been 40, and then it drops back down to 25, 30. It's this time of year is just crazy. It's like from the time it goes from winter to spring, seems like spring is more winter, and then all of a sudden it's the end of spring and it's 80 degrees. Um, yeah, Michigan weather is crazy. And Miss Michelle, she's not here, but we were talking about it earlier. She's having some congestion just like me. So it's this state. Um Okie dokie. So yeah, Joe, you go enjoy your vacation. I'm so glad that you got to do that. That sounds awesome. Awesome. And the heat sometimes can just feel so good on our joints and things. I've been using my TENS unit a lot too because when it gets hot and cold like that in Michigan, the pressure is just going crazy. The pressure is all over the place. So you wake up in pain or you're in pain later in the day Or mine is it hurt when I go to bed and it gives me trouble sleeping. So I've been using my TENS unit at night. And when I woke up this morning, it felt pretty good. I didn't know that that helps with inflammation as well. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that. So that's why I've been using it, because I know that's what happens. I get inflammation. And especially on the knee I had surgery on. When I get inflammation over there, I think my new knee somehow is something with my nerves, because then it will hurt. Um, because it happens to some people, but some people get a new knee and they're running laps. That did not happen to me. So I have not done it a second time. So, okay. Now I am going to split. There we go. We're going to talk about how to heal your inner child. This is the Cleveland Clinic, and that's one of my more trusted websites. Identify your emotional triggers, come to terms with your regrets, and allow yourself to be a kid again. Okay. So, does anyone have questions from the last time we talked about inner child? So hopefully everybody's doing okay with that. It is definitely emotional and difficult. But it is worth it. If you put in the work with your inner child, it is worth it. It has helped me a lot. Now, am I perfect? Absolutely not. I still have tantrums, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, she has tantrums. And I try to figure out why, and come in here, or if it's really bad, I'll go to a therapist and see what's going on with me. But you have to acknowledge the inner child and the hurt. So, and I sometimes ignore the inner child, and that's when I got into trouble, to be honest. I need to do something to acknowledge the inner child on a daily basis. Okay. Here we go. If our needs weren't met when we were young, those memories and experiences can have a way of sticking around and resurfacing long into our adulthood. That's because who we've become as adults is directly informed by our childhood experience. No matter what we've faced in the past, we all have an inner child that needs taken care of, especially if we've had past experience that we haven't healed from or fully processed. Psychologist Albers explains that healing your inner child is about learning how to move forward, rediscover what you need, recapturing what you've lost, and reparenting your younger self so you can heal from past experiences. Here's how you can begin to do just that. All right, let's go back over here. Okie dokie. Okay. What is inner child work? Okay. The inner child work is the process of acknowledging, understanding, and healing the wounds of your inner child. This ongoing process requires unlearning past behaviors and replacing them with new ones that reinforce positive coping skills. Are you coming up here? Good, okay. Oh, we have a rare sighting of my little Barry Sanders baby. I will do that as soon as I finish this paragraph. Understanding and healing wounds of your inner child. This ongoing process requires unlearning past behaviors and replacing them with new ones, and reinforcing positive coping skills and present day beliefs about who you are as a person. Let me show you. He's right over here, but if I move too fast, he will run. Hey, baby, what are you doing? He is looking at you guys. Can you see him? He's on the heating pad. He's so handsome. He's so handsome. Okie doke. All right. Okay. And we'll go back over here and here. Okay. It involves taking inventory of your past experiences and evaluating how they make you feel in the present day. By recognizing the pain points of your life and areas you'd like to improve, you can override the ways you normally respond to other people, circumstances, and events that cause you emotional triggers. Now, I know a lot of people use that word trigger, but and I think they do it nonchalantly as well. But there are things that do trigger us, and I don't think people should just be like, "Oh, I'm so triggered." It is a real thing for people with mental health issues, and yeah, I don't like that they. He is so cute, isn't he? He's my baby, but he's still pretty jumpy. He was a rescue. But by the time I got to him, he was just a little. I think he was on his own for quite some time, and he so he is still. We've had him for 2 years now. I would say yes, 2 years. Yeah, because we didn't get him last year. We got him the year before, and we got him here at the park, and he was already very feral by the time I found him. Oh, and my last two babies got adopted. I was so glad because they were so shy. But they got adopted together, so they are still together. So I was excited about that too. Triggered is the new buzzword and people don't understand. Exactly. Jen, exactly. It's like what were people just anything that's overused and used nonchalantly because triggered is a serious thing. Um with PTSD, with any type of mental health, when you're triggered, you have physical and emotional, mental reactions that can. Oh, I just saw myself. I am. Am I still stuttering? Um, and so it makes it sound like it's not a big deal. That's what it is because it's overused. It makes it sound like it's not a big deal. And it is. It's a huge deal. It can cause you to be paralyzed. It can cause you to be non-responsive. And it can also it can scare the heck out of you and it can the reactions can be severe and um you just get so angry or so upset or it's a serious thing and people just use it like, oh, I had my coffee today, oh, I was triggered today. Well, don't do that because I think a lot of people use it. They think it's a get out of jail free kind of card and it's not. It's a real thing. And if you've never been triggered, this is, oh, Ronan or Teal'c. Oh, this is Teal'c. He wants to be held like a baby. Yeah. So I agree with you, Jen. It is a buzzword for sure. Okay. Oh, Joe. They only had kid sizes, but that's silly. Oh, PTSD, narcissist, all used without true understanding. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sad for Joe. She doesn't get to do her t-shirt in Aruba. That sucks. Do they have socks or handkerchiefs or something else you might use? And the tie-dye, I know they usually tie-dye more than just shirts. Here he is. Here's the baby. See what he likes to do? He likes to come over here and get held like a baby. I think I must have done this to him when he was a kitten. I must have done this to you when you were a kitten because you really like this. This is Teal'c. He's the middle guy. Him and Ronan were both born together. They are litter mates, but Ronan is kind of a bully and bigger. So Teal'c is my sweet baby. He's my sweet baby. My sweet baby. Oh, he's so sweet. Can I put you down? I need to go over here, please. Let's change the screen back right there. we'll do this here. There we go. We're going to read some more inner child work. Okay. No, you can't. Okay. Okay. It's about parenting yourself and giving yourself the emotional response you would have needed or wanted as a child. Reparenting yourself, that's a big deal. So we may or may not have gotten the parents that we wanted. Some of us had great parents, some of us didn't, some of us had just, average parents. And reparenting yourself is being the parent to your inner child you wish you had. So if you had a really good childhood, you may not have a lot of issues with your inner child, but there still could be something. If you had a really bad childhood, then you're going to have a lot of inner child work to do. So you become the parent you wanted to be, and you treat your inner child the way you wanted to be treated. That's how it is for me. Okay. Reparenting yourself and giving yourself emotional responses you would have needed or wanted as a child, but doing it right now at your current stage in life. It's about understanding the very vulnerable parts of ourselves. Our inner child is the vulnerable parts of ourselves. I think that's where they are stored, that's where they stay. If you let them out or address them, you can relieve the inner child, but yeah, understanding the very valuable parts of ourselves and nurturing ourselves. Okay, wanted as a child, but doing it right now. It's about understanding the very vulnerable parts of ourselves and nurturing ourselves with self-compassion and self-acceptance, which we may or may not have gotten as a child. Because back in the 80s, we've already talked about this. It was, I'll give you something to cry about, or you're fine, get up, get over it. We've already talked about all that stuff. It could be his version of my parents went to Aruba and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. Right? That's funny. Okay. So, that's what inner child work is. And I don't think it needs to be difficult, and I don't think you need to be every day and harp on it. If you're going to a therapist like 4 or 5 times a week, I mean, that can get old real quick. If you have a lot of issues, but I'm a person that likes to deal with one issue at a time. I have a lot of issues. I don't want to deal with all of them at once because that would just make me even crazier, you know? Medication probably couldn't help me at that point. So, yeah. All right. Let's go back here. The goal of healing your inner child is to make sure you fully process both positive and negative experiences from when you were younger so you can move past them with a renewed understanding of your worth as a human being with very real thoughts and feelings. And that's a quote from somebody. It doesn't really say. Healing requires therapy. On one side, it's easy to see how even the most positive experience you've had inform who you are today. And I would say my inner child work started when I was in rehab. So I did start with a therapist, an addiction specialist, and we worked from there. Let's see. But the negative experience you had in particular can make the process of healing your inner child more challenging. Because of this, healing your inner child often involves some form of therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a valuable approach for healing your inner child. And she bought me this book when I was in therapy. I'm going to try to find it for next week, but it's a CBT book. If you've ever heard of CBT therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy is a valuable approach for healing your inner child, says Dr. Alberts. A therapist can work with you to uncover where your beliefs in yourself about yourself come from, especially those rooted in childhood. By making these connections, you can learn to change negative thoughts into more compassionate and supportive ones. This process not only helps heal your inner child, but also empowers you to face life's challenges with a healthier mindset. My therapist made me stop losing what's wrong and focus on one that I really wanted to work on. Yeah. Yeah. Because it can be a lot. It can be a lot. Especially with the trauma of an accident and things included in there, and you were very young. Um any type of abuse trauma, you know, any type of just neglect. I have big abandonment issues, and do you know what? I didn't even know until I was in my 40s. I didn't know I had abandonment issues until I was in my 40s. And so that's when my inner child came out, and she was like, "Hey." And she had a tantrum, and so then I've told you guys before it was about my mom, and yeah, I was like, why did I get so angry with her? So I had to go to the therapist and say, okay, here's what happened, and I don't know why I got so mad. I had to teach my predators at the prison CBT. Oh, yeah. Yep. Did you find it to be helpful for the people that actually wanted help? Alrighty. But yeah, I think just from our generation, we do the negative self-talk is so comes so easy to us, right? So easy to us. And when we talked in January about how I was feeling, my tree is still up. The lights are not on, but the tree is still up. Uh, when we talked about it, and I said, why am I beating myself up about this? So I stopped beating myself up, and it's still not done, but I don't feel the heavy weight on my shoulders of telling myself, why didn't you do this? What's your the negative self-talk. Yes, all juveniles, so they responded very well. Oh, that's great, Jen. That's great. Great to hear. Um, what did I say? So I did take my medicine. I had coffee. You can tell I'm chatty. Oh, and I also had these strawberries. This is my third one. This is my last one. They just go so good with coffee. A little bit of sweetness. So if I find that book, I will definitely be bringing it out and seeing if it can be valuable for us. Okay, dokie. Let's go back here. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Did I go over this? Is a valuable approach to healing your inner child. Okay. Is cognitive behavioral therapy is a valuable approach for healing your inner child, says Dr. Alberts. A therapist can work with you to uncover where your beliefs about yourself come from, especially those rooted in childhood, by making these connections. You can learn to change negative thoughts into more compassionate and supportive ones. This process not only helps heal your inner child, but also empowers you to face life's challenges with a healthier mindset and healthier coping mechanisms as well. I have a hangnail. Okay. If you've experienced childhood trauma, abuse, or violence at a young age, it's especially important that you work with a licensed clinical therapist can help you navigate the healing process. It can be very painful to confront. Oops. Sorry about that. To confront your inner child because it can tap into some very difficult and painful memories. It can be helpful to work with a therapist who can walk you through visiting some of these things from the past in a patient and calm way so that you're not traumatized by them. Right? Because if you're doing well, you don't want to be re traumatized, right? Okie dokie. Okay. So, how do you turn this all around? Ways to heal your inner child. I need to quit doing this, but it's irritating me. Sorry. I think I'm hyped up on coffee and my meds and a little bit, you know, anxiety. So, how do you turn this all around? Healing your inner child is about making sure that little versions of you, I think they mean your inner child, littler versions of you, feel safe, protected, and loved. So they're not popping out up unannounced, ready to wreak havoc, right? To throw that tantrum. With the added help of a therapist, your journey of healing your inner child becomes much more manageable with these, steps. Okie dokie. My cats. Sorry. When I'm all hyped up on coffee, my attention span gets shorter, I think. I'm still drinking the coffee. Okay, so let's see. Ways to heal your inner child. Acknowledge your inner child and what they have to say. When you listen to your inner child, you're allowing and validating any feelings that you may have. As a child, you may often be taught to cut yourself off from those feelings or ignore and avoid them. But as an adult, the first step is paying attention to when you're having a significant reaction to something and take it seriously. For example, when you receive critical feedback at work and feel a surge of shame, pause to acknowledge that your inner child is reacting to past experiences of being judged. Instead of letting those feelings overwhelm you, remind yourself that this feedback is about your work, not your worth, allowing you to respond constructively and grow from the experience. Understanding your triggers, knowing yourself and what triggers your emotional impulses is key to finding out how to respond in a healthier way. If you know yourself and you know you're incredibly sensitive to feeling abandoned because of a sense of abandonment you had as a child, you can watch out for it. You can look for it in a relationship with friends and other people around you and spot when you feel oversensitive to abandonment. We've talked about journaling. It says journal about your experiences. Take note of when you feel your inner child popping up and write down how those moments make you feel, the kinds of responses you inspire. Journaling can help you understand if there are any patterns of behavior you participate in. Um so yeah, journaling I hear is great. I am not a writer. So I am not a fan of journaling and I don't do it. Um So I don't really have any information or any but if you guys do journal and you want to chat about it in the comments here, absolutely. Absolutely. That's just the one thing I've never been able to get into. I've wanted to do it. I've bought journals. I have empty journals. Um but I am a task oriented person and so sitting down and writing my feelings I mean it would be this long like sad I have an app that I can put how I feel in it, but writing about it is really I've never caught onto it. I've never been into it. I've tried and it just doesn't, just like meditation. I need to be, um, with the racing thoughts and everything, it's hard to meditate. Let me just say that. And I've never really caught onto it, but the breathing, I do the breathing, inhaling, exhaling slowly and deeply, um, to center myself. That also helps with the cough. But that is more my, I guess, more my, and it doesn't have anything to do with what I'm born. That's just how I deal with it now. Um, so when she gets mad, I just gotta say, calm down. And she may not want to hear that, but when I say it with love, calm down with love, not just calm down, with love, and she hears me, and then we kind of work through whatever's going on. And I do that all in my head. And it can be in just a few seconds, when you're in a situation and you're like, well, maybe this is not a good situation for me to be in, or maybe I shouldn't say anything because this person's not receptive, or I don't know this person. I don't want to tell them anything about me, all that type of stuff. So let's go back here. Alrighty. So journaling is a good thing. It says, take note of when you feel your inner child popping up and write down how those moments make you feel. Okay. Mirror your motives. Mirror exercise can help you flip the script so that you start to internalize more positive feelings about yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and start saying positive and healing statements as you're looking at your reflection to reformulate some of those automatic beliefs that pop into your mind. Tell yourself that you feel worthy and you are good enough. Write a letter. I was given an assignment to write a letter when I was in rehab, and I didn't do it. So my therapist didn't get upset about it. I just didn't do it. So write a letter to your inner child. Yeah, it wasn't to my inner child. Maybe that would have been a letter I would have written. It's supposed to be to my dad. So, or try writing from the perspective of your inner child. If you're writing to yourself, you're giving yourself the love, compassion, and empathy you need, and a sense of safety and trust. If you're writing from the inner child's perspective, it can help to illuminate where these wounds are located inside of you and how they may be popping up. So, next time your inner child is triggered, try writing a mantra to yourself, something like, Dear little me, I see your fear of not being good enough, and I want you to know that you are loved, worthy, and capable of amazing things, no matter what anyone else says or does. Sit with that, repeat it to yourself, and really focus on believing. Now, I mean, that's a nice, oh, write a letter. Okay, here we go. Um, but that's kind of a long mantra, wouldn't you say? I mean, I need something short and sweet that I can remember. Like, for my inner child, I tell her, you are good enough. Because for whatever reason, I didn't think I was good enough. A good enough person, a good enough athlete, a good enough student, a good enough, whatever. So I just tell her, you are good enough. You're a good person. You are good enough. Meditate with your inner child. Imagine a version of yourself as a child sitting next to you. Talk to that child version of yourself and tell them what you wanted or needed to hear as a child. Now, that I have done, so I don't know why it says meditate with your inner child. This often taps into very deep places for people to identify where your wounds are located. Don't forget about the positives. You want to focus on both the positive and negative aspects of your inner child because chances are you had moments when you were young when you felt happy, safe, and playful. Those positive memories help create your sense of the world. So if you felt safe and comfortable in a relationship with an adult or a friend when you were younger, you may also be able to identify and recognize when you feel that way again in a new relationship as an adult. So I would say when I was younger, what I noticed was when I wasn't comfortable with someone, I noticed it was more often than not that I was scared or I didn't feel supported or, um, it was something that was not pleasant. And so, where was I going with that? Oh, don't forget about the positives. So I didn't have a reference of feeling safe necessarily. I had a reference of feeling unsafe. So when something unsafe comes around me, I feel that. And I don't know if it's a good coping mechanism, but I avoid that negative energy at all costs. I try not to be around that person or that area or in that situation. Um, because when I was younger, I didn't realize, because I was always in a situation where things were bad, it was hard to recognize when things were good. So, that's just a little explanation about me. So, what was it again? I'm sorry, guys. How to heal your inner child. Oh, with positive. So, very rarely did I feel safe. Um, I'm trying to think. When did I? Oh, I felt safe when I would go to my best friend's house, surely. She's my best friend here. We go to the Cheesecake Factory. If you ever hear me talk about that, that's what we're doing. Um, so I always felt safe at her house. So what I learned from going to her house often, because a lot of people didn't stay at my house because my dad was an alcoholic. So mostly I went to other places, but we've been friends since like first or second grade. It's been a long time. And so I learned from her family what a good family looked like. And they weren't perfect. She knows that. But they were a good family and they did support her. And so I see what that looked like. So I do remember that feeling. But in my family, around my family, even my mom's, even my dad's, I don't really have a lot of feelings of safety. People fought a lot of arguments, a lot of dysfunction, even sometimes fist fights, drinking. Oh, what's going on with the kitty there? Oh, I think it's windy outside. He just ran in real quick. Barry Sanders does that because he's jumpy. So, okie doke. Are you guys trying to chat and I'm not seeing it, or you're just listening to me speak? So hopefully it's just you're listening to me speak. Okay. Excuse me. It says try something new. Many of these steps revolve around increasing your awareness so you can start to change the way you think and feel. But once you have insight into your inner child, it's time to put all of that awareness into practice by changing how you act and react to the world around you. Instead of doing what you've always done, try a different approach. Um, it's also helpful to let your partner know what you need. If you were a child who needed more hugs as a kid, then you tell your spouse that when you're feeling down, you really need a hug. And we do that. So, if we need a hug, we'll say, I need a hug. That's going to be more healing because it taps right into your inner child's needs at the moment. But I am not a huggy person. The only person I really hug a lot is my husband, and he does make me feel safe. So, I think since I didn't have a lot of that safety, that was what I was looking for in a partner. Next, be childlike. Allow yourself to let go every now and then and do something you once loved as a child. Be playful. Explore your curiosities. Pick up an old habit you let go of long ago. For a lot of people who have inner child wounds, they don't feel safe enough to play and experience joy when they were kids. So they often feel cut off from the part of themselves. Tapping back into that as an adult helps you repair yourself so that you learn it's okay to have fun and do things you did as a child that gave you joy. So yeah, when I was a child, I was not childlike. I was more of the adults in the house. Um, just because of the drinking and the depression and the anxiety and stuff, I felt like I was responsible for everybody. I don't know why. Nobody said, Crystal, you're responsible. I just, so I was a very serious young person. And I would say it was probably after rehab in my uh, 40s that I finally started to be childlike. And now I enjoy so much, well, especially now that I'm not working, that even though I'm on disability, I enjoy like the weather. Like before, it didn't matter what the weather was, I had to work. So just even the weather or a cup of coffee, before it was you got to drink this coffee so you can actually be awake while you're at work. And now I'm enjoying the coffee, the flavor, the just sitting with the warm cup. Okay, okay, no worries, Lee. I just was checking, make sure my internet was okay. Okay, so let's move on. Hopefully my voice is not annoying and you can relax. At the end of the day, your inner child has always been hidden somewhere inside of you. By confronting your inner child, you can begin to protect them and support them the way you would protect and support any one of your own children. You're going to be the parent that you wanted when you were younger, or the parent that you needed when you were younger. You're confronting your old belief system, noticing what needs to be worked on and what hasn't been working, and then replacing that old system with a new one that has a lot of empathy, kindness, and self-compassion. And I believe as well too, in the time that most of us were young, that things have changed a lot now. And our old belief systems, we're learning, were not good. And that learning that and accepting that and trying to be better. Isn't that what you do though? Your parents are this way, you try to be better. Your kids will try to be better parents than you. You know what I mean? We learn every generation, we learn more. And hopefully we learn from our mistakes and we don't do them again, you know. So yeah. And so I'm not a I love the inner child work, but I don't want to be blaming my parents for, you know, um, I know there was some contributing factors, but I'm an adult now and I need to deal with life as an adult. And so I love the inner child work for that because I'm working on myself, my inner child. I'm not just blaming people for things that happened in my past that were not safe and that were not good and that were, at the time I thought my family was normal until I met my friend and her family was different. So I always thought, the drinking and the arguing and the fist fighting, I always thought that was normal. I thought everybody did that. I didn't realize how bad things were at the time. And so this was how my parents dealt with stuff. And so now since I've gone through the inner child and trying to heal the inner child, I deal with things differently. So I guess we learn every generation. I guess that's what I said before, but I do love the inner child work because my inner child she can be super sweet and of course cute because I am cute. And she just needs a little support and I can give her that. I can give her more than what she received in the past. And I'm working on me. I'm not blaming other people. I am trying to be a better person for myself so that my life is more peaceful, so that my life can be happier. It's not perfect, but it's much better. So, next, how to know your inner child is healing. Let's go back real quick. Just see. Okay. How to know your inner child is healing. Okay. Healing your inner child looks different for every person. I'm getting a widow chili, guys. I'm going to put Banky on. See my Hello Kitty blankie? This is my inner child. She loves Hello Kitty. Okay. Healing your inner child looks different for every person, but the general goal is to increase your awareness. When your emotional triggers are, or where your emotional triggers are coming from, by reducing the severity of your emotional triggers, you can then learn how to respond to them clearly in a way that's more in line with your foundational values. I would say your foundational values of today. Because, excuse me, the things that are triggering are the things that the values you grew up with. The healing process becomes very evident when you're responding and acting in a different way, which I do. I am nothing like 20-year-old Crystal. I would say, though, that my happiest years with myself were after rehab. Rehab was very good for me. So I learned how to do the inner child work. I started to be better about it. I tried going to an addiction specialist therapist. She was never an addict, so it wasn't helpful. When you're in rehab, your therapists are people who have suffered from addiction and they know what you're going through. And so when I came out and they said look for a therapist and addict, so I did. And like I said, she had never been addicted a day in her life. So I just went back to my regular therapist, and because she was in addition to my psychiatrist, I should say. And yeah, so it's hard to find an addiction specialist who's actually been through it, which is why when they go through the program, if they become, they go to college and do better, they like to have them back as therapists in rehab because they said everybody there had been through it already. So anybody you talk to, maybe not the nurses, were former addicts who had gone through their programs. It was a really good. I know some rehabs are not that good, but this was a really good one. Okay. The healing process, acting different. Let's look at two examples of how your inner child could show up and what it looks like when the inner child is healing. For the first example, let's say your parents argued often when you were a kid. In reaction to what was happening in your household, you tried to be invisible. Clammed up, never talked back, and sometimes tried to hide if the arguments became violent or abusive. You then carry those experiences with you into your current life as an adult by avoiding conflict in your relationships. You don't speak up at work or in other areas of your life when something upsets you. You don't want to ruffle any feathers, so you try to make yourself smaller in the same ways you did as a child. By doing this, you then sacrifice your own needs so that you're not upsetting others or worsening the situation. Where's it at? Okay. These trauma responses happen because your inner child is showing up in your current life as an adult and reacting to those past experiences. A sign of progress would be to speak up when you need to, set healthy boundaries. And that is a lot harder than it sounds, but it's important to set healthy boundaries, especially as women. It can be more difficult, I think, than men. And that's me coming from a male dominated work field. Vocalize how other people make you feel when conflict is happening. Those are very different responses to how you would have responded as a child. They are signs that you're healing. For the second example, let's imagine that when you text your partner, they don't respond. Their lack of response then triggers feeling of abandonment and neglect. When this happens, you get angry and respond with a passive aggressive text message, or you get sad and automatically see something is wrong, or they might be breaking up with you. Instead of giving into catastrophic thinking and feelings of abandonment, you talk yourself through it. You tell yourself this isn't a sign to respond with insecure text, but to calm and comfort yourself in that moment and be able to work through it in a new, productive, healing way. Yeah, there are a lot of people that get upset when you don't text them back right away. You know you're healing your inner child when you can self-soothe when conflicts come up. Now, I self-soothe by rocking. I rock. I did it when I was a kid. I do it now. So rocking makes me feel soothed, and I'm thinking that's probably from being rocked as a baby. And then also another self-soothing thing that I do besides rocking. Oh, it was just in my head. Oh, I count things. If there's anybody here who does that, like anywhere I'm at, I will count things like different swirls in the kitchen cabinets, different um lines or tiles I count. And that soothes me because I was always good at math and numbers always I was always good at it. So the numbers always just made me feel better counting things. So that's two ways that I self-soothe. If you guys want to put how you self-soothe down there in the comments, and we can talk about that. When using you use healthy coping mechanisms when responding to uncomfortable situations. And I'd like to think that you've seen examples of that here in our lives when maybe some people don't agree or someone comes in that we don't get a lot of trolls. I don't know why, but we don't get a lot of trolls here. It could be because I just put it on StreamYard and Instagram, our Instagram chat. I don't post it everywhere. So that could be why. But again, I'm not trying to become YouTube famous either. So, and even in our slumber parties, when it was just me and Jamie, we didn't get a lot of, um, trolls or, but when they come, knowing how to deal with them is something that I hope that you have seen me do, and um, that it is good. If not, let me know. Sometimes I might go off and I just don't even realize it. You openly express your needs instead of internalizing grief, guilt, or shame. You can identify your emotional triggers and work through them. You act or react differently than you would in the past. Absolutely. I can't always identify my emotional triggers until I have been triggered. So, I think they just come up when you least expect it, and then when it comes up, it can just paralyze you, and you're like, or my original responses were to become very angry. But I'm better at that now, but I would just be so angry and mean and sharp-tongued. I was born with a real sharp tongue, and I know that came from both sides of my family. So, I do not do that now. Healing your inner child is about revisiting your values and morals, asking yourself what you need right now to feel safe, loved, and supportive, reaffirms the doctor. It's about identifying what you need to get your needs met and identifying where your needs are not being met. So if you're in a relationship with someone and they like you worry about the text and they never text you back, maybe that person doesn't understand. And if you can't really talk to them about it, you really kind of got to move on. Okay, so it is 2:39 and we finished the article. So I am going to let you guys go. Enjoy Aruba, Joe. And I will talk to you guys next week. We're going to do that. It's a worksheet, and I think I'm going to post it in the chat. I'm going to post it in the chat. And that way we can all, if you want to, you can print it out and we can go over it. I'm going to go over it for myself, but if you want to print it out, you can also have it. So, let me make sure that I'm going to be here next Wednesday on my calendar. February 25th. I don't have anything on the 4th. So my plan is to be here because on the 11th, the following Wednesday, I have doctors. So have a great week. It's been great talking to you guys. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Doo-dee-doo.